Hey guys! So today I wanted to do a video showing you some tips and tricks on how to take your makeup from office to nighttime. So obviously we're coming towards Christmas and New Year's and we're coming into party season. I know a lot of you are going to have work Christmas parties and a lot of the time you don't really have a lot of time to get ready. Sometimes you go straight from work to your party. So I just want to show you some really quick ways that you can jazz up your makeup and make it a little bit more nighttime, and just a few tips or a bit of advice on what products to bring with you that'll kind of make the job a little bit easier and a little bit quicker when it comes time to party. So as you can probably tell, I have some makeup on. It's looking a little bit weathered. I have been wearing it all day, so I did that on purpose so that you could see how I transform myself from this to this. So if you want to see how to achieve this transformation in about 5 minutes with minimum products, then keep watching. So if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you probably already know that I've got quite oily skin. Now my skin actually hasn't been too shiny today. I put on the Revlon Color Stay foundation earlier today, so that's pretty good for kind of keeping the oil at control, or keeping the oil at bay for me. But you can see the makeup's kind of separated a little bit. I actually have marks on my nose from where I was wearing sunglasses, so my base definitely needs some freshening up. Now in an ideal world, you would just take a makeup wipe your foundation off and start again. But I know a lot of the time you don't have time for that. So for somebody with my kind of skin, somebody that's got oily skin, you're better off blotting some of the oil off before you powder, before you apply any other products on top of it. Otherwise you're just going to be mixing in all the greasiness and just the yuckiness from the day. You're just going to mix it in with whatever products you put on top and it just ends up looking a bit muddy. So you can either use blotting paper. I'm a big fan of blotting paper, but I'm actually out of blotting paper at the moment. So another great tip, and I actually find this works almost as well as blotting paper, is to take some tissue, just a tissue, or even toilet paper works, tear it apart so you just have one ply, and use that as your blotting paper. You just want to be careful that you're not wiping your skin, you're just really pressing it into the skin, so you're not really moving the makeup that's on underneath, you're just absorbing the oil that's kind of sitting on top. So, skin blotted, oil removed, feeling a little bit fresher already. Now if you've got more dry skin and you don't get that oiliness, then you can totally skip that step and move on to this step. Now this is kind of an optional step, but I do think it's quite important, and it is to spritz your face with some kind of mist. So I like to use the Fix Plus spray. You could use any kind of water, or like if you've got a toner or something like that. Something that's going to introduce a little bit of moisture into your skin. So I'm just going to give myself a quick spray of that. Now the reason for this is it's really, really refreshing. It's going to wake you up and it makes your skin look a little bit more awake. But also if you've got any powder products on your skin, like if you powdered your skin way back when you put your makeup on first thing in the morning, putting that moisture back on the top layer of the skin will actually make blending cream products in now a little bit easier. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm sitting at a desk, and I do actually spend a lot of my time sitting at a desk in front of a computer, much like any other office job, I tend to put my hands by my mouth like this and I kind of fiddle with my face, so I end up with no makeup around my mouth by the end of the day. I've just wiped it all off. So I have to take a bit of concealer, and I'm not using brushes, just keeping it very simple, very quick. Just going to use my ring finger just to dab concealer just in areas that I really need it. Like obviously I have a bit of a blemish there, and I find because of my oily skin, makeup can sometimes separate on my skin a little bit. So by doing this, using your finger with a creamy product on it, you're almost kind of smushing it back together. I know that sounds disgusting, but you're kind of blending the separated product back together again. Alright, that's a fresh layer of concealer, just really in the areas that I needed it, where I'd rubbed off the makeup from before. Now I'm going to set everything with a powder foundation, and today I'm using Studio Fix foundation in NW15. You could use a mineral foundation, or you could use a powder that's got a little bit of coverage in it if you don't want to use like a full-blown powder foundation. But I know for nighttime I do like to wear makeup that's got a bit of coverage, so I like the Studio Fix powder, and I'm just going to blend that all over my face, and this just really brings back the coverage and totally refreshes your skin, and it's so quick and easy. And I have a little teeny tiny MAC 129 brush. It's their short handle brush, so I always have one of these in my handbag, which is really good for topping up your makeup. Now my skin has actually held up quite well today, but just for the purposes of this tutorial, I am going to redo my blush and my contour and also my highlight. And I've made up a little palette. So these are the little 4 palettes that you can make up from MAC. I obviously have one of the old packaging palettes. So in this, I have got some Shroom eyeshadow, and I'm going to use that as my brow bone highlight and my cheekbone highlight. I've got Sushi Flower, which I'm going to use as my blush. Omega I'm going to use as my contour and probably to contour through the eye a little bit. And I've got Club eyeshadow by MAC, which is an awesome, really quick eyeshadow to create a smoky eye with. So I'm going to go into Omega, and with my little fluffy brush, I'm just going to do a little bit of very subtle contouring. With these bigger brushes, you can squish stain the bristles like this if you wanted to make the contour a little bit more definite, more defined. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Shroom, just dab that on the top of my cheekbones. Put a little bit of that on my nose too. And then into Sushi Flower. This actually makes a lovely blush. Alright, onto the eyes. Now, brows are already done, not going to bother with them, they're good enough for me. I'm going to go into Shroom eyeshadow that I use as my cheek highlight, and I'm going to try and do the entire eye just using one brush. So I'm starting off with a light colour because I don't have another brush that I can use. If I started with the dark colour, I wouldn't be able to do this now because the brush would be too dirty. Does that make sense? I'm not sure that made any sense. Gonna do brow highlight and bring it into this inside corner. Next, I've got a Rimmel eyeliner. This is one of their Scandaleye waterproof eyeliners. It's just the black one. I'm gonna drag that along my top lashes. If you're wondering what I already have on my eyes, actually, it's just a really light layer of MAC's Sable eyeshadow. So I'm going to line across the top like that, and then also do my upper waterline. And just pull this into a little bit of a wing. I will be smudging though, so it doesn't need to be too perfect. I'm just going to take my middle finger, just very softly, kind of dab almost, just to soften the edge of it. So now I'm going to go into Club eyeshadow, and I'm going to dab that over the eyelid. And Club, if you don't know, is a duochrome eyeshadow, so it reflects light slightly differently depending kind of on what angle it's coming from. It's got a maroon colour, and it's also got like a teal, bluey green colour through it. So I find it tends to look a little bit more teal if it's got black underneath it, and it looks a little bit more brown just over like a flesh coloured. So it's going to look a little bit more like a tealy colour where I've put the eyeliner and then fade out to a brown colour. So it looks like you've blended 2 colours onto your eyes. So that's why it makes a great, really quick and easy smoky eye. Now, of course, you could leave it like that. You don't have to bring anything on the lower lash line if you don't want to. You can see that eyeliner is already beginning to transfer onto the lower lash line. You could just leave it like that if you wanted it to be a little bit more subtle, but I don't. So I'm going to line my lower lash line with a teal eyeliner. You, of course, could use the black if you didn't want to have to bring 2 eyeliners with you. But I'm going to do teal because I think it's going to look really cool with that Club eyeshadow. And then I'm going to go back into the Club eyeshadow. I've just put a tiny bit more product on the very tip of the bristles. I'm going to blend it under the eye. Eyeshadows on both eyes. I'm going to do another layer of mascara. Just whenever you put eyeshadow on, sometimes the powder can drop into your eyelashes and it just makes the mascara, it just kind of makes them not so defined. So I'm going to put another layer on, just a really light one. I'm using Benefit's They're Real. And just to finish around the eyes, I'm going to go back into my concealer and my ring finger. Make sure it's clean before you do this. And just pop a little bit on this outside corner. You might not have to do this, it's just when I smudged out the eyeliner with my finger, I smudged it out a little bit too far. So this is just to tidy up. On my lips, because it's the festive, silly season, I am actually going to do a little bit of a colour on my lips. You could just do clear gloss, nude gloss, whatever. But I'm going to use one of the Covergirl Outlast lip stains in number 415. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of gloss over that. I'm using one of the Bobbi brown lip glosses in the colour Sailor. Now, I'm no hair expert, but I'll just quickly show you what I would do to zhuzh up my hair. I've already curled it, if you can believe that. This is like, I curled it first thing this morning, so it's kind of straightened out a little bit, but I actually really like when my hair goes like this. It's got a little bit of body. So I'm not gonna brush it. I want it to stay like messy and tussled. So I'm gonna use some of the Fudge Matte Mineral Texture Powder. It's one of those, you know, texturizing powders. So many different companies have them nowadays. And I'm just gonna lift up my roots and just kind of randomly put it in. And then I'm just going to go in and rub my roots and kind of create a little bit of, almost like a little bit of teasing with my fingers to get a bit more volume in there. And then just take a little bit of hairspray, I like to spray it onto my hand and scrunch the ends. And that just gives a bit more texture down there too. You can tell I like my hair kind of messy. Actually, it's just that I don't know any other way to do my hair. I only know how to do my hair messy. So there you have it, guys. That is a pretty quick way to just zhuzh up your face, zhuzh up your hair before you go for your work party night out, or even just like Friday night out with your work friends. A couple of tips I will give you. Curling your hair in the morning is definitely very helpful when it comes to going out that night. It's just very easy. It's much easier, I think, to give a bit of life into hair that's been curled rather than straight hair. That's my own experience anyway. My hair is so fine. It goes so flat. Curl really helps. Paint your nails the night before if you do want your nails painted. Don't try and do it the morning before you go to work, and definitely don't try and do it like in the space of time you have after work and before drinks. That is so stressful. Pack your little touch-up kit the night before and pop it in your handbag. This is everything that I used in the video, so it's not really that much product, so it would easily fit in your handbag, and then you have it with you for the rest of the night if you need to top up with anything. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have an amazing Christmas party if you are going to a Christmas party or New Year's or whatever. Christmas is too far away for me to tell you to have a nice Christmas, so I'll wait till a little bit closer to tell you happy Christmas. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. I finally figured out how to reply to comments in the new system, so I will actually be able to respond to you. Don't forget to say hi to me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of the links will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!